We have already started the video with John Carpenter's Toxic Commando, a cooperative first-person shooter game set to be released in 2024. The game is a collaboration between the developer Saber Interactive and the iconic horror filmmaker John Carpenter, known for classics like Halloween and The Thing. The game is set in the near future, where a failed experiment unleashes a supernatural creature known as the Sludge God. This results in the infection of the population, turning many into infected, essentially zombies. Carpenter describes these enemies as ghouls that explode spectacularly, promising an intense and action-packed experience. Toxic Commando combines elements of humor and exaggerated action, inspired by 80s cinema. Players will be able to use a variety of weapons, from firearms and grenades to katanas, to face hordes of monsters. The game also emphasizes vehicular combat, allowing players to drive vehicles while fighting enemies. Cooperative gameplay is one of the main attractions, promising a fun and chaotic experience. Killing Floor 3 is the latest addition to the popular first-person shooter franchise, developed by Tripwire Interactive. Killing Floor 3's gameplay maintains a focus on cooperative mode, where players need to work together to defeat enemies. During matches, the main goal is to earn money to unlock skills and assemble an effective arsenal to combat threats. Iconic series enemies like the Fleshpounds are back, and new monsters like the Clot have been introduced with updated and scarier visuals. The game is being developed for PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series, with next-generation graphics and enhanced gameplay mechanics that explore the full potential of the new platforms. The developers have promised that Killing Floor 3 will be a milestone in the history of action and horror games, with significant improvements in artificial intelligence to increase tension and challenge during gameplay. Isle is a new first-person survival horror game developed by Team Clout and utilizing the Unreal Engine 5. The game has been attracting attention due to its brutality and impressive visuals. It promises an intense and visceral experience, focusing on a plot that takes players to a small town, where they must uncover the truth behind a bloody madness that occurred. The game is described as psychological and survival horror, with a dense and dark atmosphere. Players will face monstrous creatures that can be dismembered and injured, creating an extremely realistic body horror experience. ILL will feature a complex weapon system, where maintenance and ammunition choice will be essential for survival. The game also features an advanced dismemberment system and dynamic enemy behavior, changing their attack patterns. With grotesque creatures and a story that won't be hard to understand, the game is highly anticipated.
It might be your only way down.
Welcome to my party. We're just getting started.
Showa American Story is a new action-adventure RPG developed by Necom Entertainment in collaboration with 2P Games. The plot of Showa American Story is set in a post-apocalyptic world where the United States has become a colony of Japan after being bought by the Showa 66 company. A catastrophic incident results in the appearance of monsters and zombies throughout the region, creating a chaotic and violent scenario. Players take on the role of Choco, a stunt woman from action movies who has been mysteriously resurrected. Her mission is to travel across the United States in search of her sister and answers about what happened to the world. The game combines elements of melee combat and a variety of weapons, including katanas and unusual weapons like a drill. In addition to combat, Showa American Story also promises a rich narrative with stories of survivors and eccentric characters, reflecting the 80s pop culture and B-movie aesthetics.
I think I'm going crazy. Don't think
You come across real delicacies.
Outbreak Island is a survival game that combines elements of mystery and investigation. It is set on a remote island called Earlson, where a secret experiment gone wrong has driven the population into a state of madness. The player takes on the role of Howard Chapman, a detective who arrives on the island to uncover the causes of this mysterious accident. In the game, players must survive in a hostile environment, facing bloodthirsty monsters that emerge at night. The gameplay mechanic involves building and defending a base, as well as exploring the island for clues to help unravel the mystery behind what happened. The camera is a crucial tool for investigating locations and collecting information. The player's main objective is to find the core of the island and decide whether to control it or destroy it. The island defends itself against inexperienced survivors, making the experience challenging and intense. If you are a fan of survival games with an engaging narrative and mystery elements, Outbreak Island promises to be an intriguing experience.
At night.
Nobody's Left is set in a post-war apocalyptic city, where survival becomes a constant struggle. Developed by Mad Rain Studio, the game combines elements of action, adventure, and RPG, offering an emotional and engaging narrative. Players must adapt their strategies to protect their loved ones in a hostile environment where normalcy no longer exists. The game is described as a shoot-'em-up Souls-like, where players face challenges in third person. Stealth mechanics are crucial, as direct confrontations can be fatal. Players need to be cautious, as any sound can attract enemies, increasing the risk of death. Additionally, there is an emphasis on exploring the environment for Easter eggs, which contain unique cultural tales that enrich the game experience.
I'm trying to give it more of that.
Lollipop Chainsaw RePOP is a remaster of the original game Lollipop Chainsaw, released in 2012. In the game, players control Juliet Starling, a cheerleader who faces zombies in her school. The remaster will allow players to choose the dubbing language, something that was not possible in the original. Additionally, the soundtrack will feature new songs created by Japanese artists. Juliet uses a chainsaw as her main weapon, allowing powerful attacks and devastating combos against zombies. You can perform a combination of light and fast attacks or heavy and slower attacks, depending on the situation. By defeating multiple enemies at once, Juliet enters a special mode that grants extra points and rewards. The combat system is designed to be accessible, but also offers depth for players who like to explore different combos and strategies. If you enjoy fast and stylish action, Lollipop Chainsaw RePOP should be a very fun experience.
I can feel the vibration, feet in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break things.
Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster is the remastered version of the classic action and horror game Dead Rising, originally released for Xbox 360. In this new version, players return to the zombie-infested city of Willamette for an even more intense and visually enhanced survival experience. Combining elements of action games, RPGs, and time management, Dead Rising puts you in the role of a photojournalist who must survive a zombie outbreak in a shopping mall. The gameplay is marked by the freedom to explore the environment, create improvised weapons, and face hordes of undead. Willametta's shopping center is a maze full of dangers and opportunities. Explore every corner of the location to find useful items, survivors, and face bosses. One of the series' hallmarks, Dead Rising allows you to create absurd weapons by combining everyday objects. A chainsaw attached to a baseball bat? A chainsaw attached to a wheelchair? The possibilities are endless.
You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've already know. She can deal with the
Dying Light the Beast is a new game in the Dying Light series, officially announced during Opening Night Live at Gamescom 2024. The game follows Kyle Crane, the protagonist of the first Dying Light, who returns after 13 years of captivity and brutal experiments. He escapes and embarks on a quest for revenge, but soon discovers that there is much more at stake than just his own freedom. The story is set in Castor Woods, a region that was once a popular tourist destination, now transformed into a hunting ground by a mysterious creature. Dying Light the Beast offers rich gameplay, where players can explore the world during the day and face hordes of zombies at night. One of the main mechanics is the ability to transform Kyle into a monster, using the zombie DNA he acquired during the experiments. The game also allows up to 4 players to play in cooperative mode, increasing the chances of survival in a hostile environment. No More Room in Hell 2 is the sequel to the popular zombie mod, which now becomes a standalone game. Developed by Torn Banner Studios, the game promises an intense cooperative action horror experience for up to 8 players. The game stands out for its permadeath system, where the death of a character is permanent, requiring players to act strategically to survive. Players take on the role of rescuers in a world infested with zombies, where they must survive, loot, and complete missions in a dynamic and ever-changing environment. The first area available in early access will be a map called Power Plant, which is a power plant located in rural Pennsylvania. The game will feature a variety of resources to face the zombies, including melee weapons, long-range weapons, traps, and explosive items. Additionally, there will be a dismemberment damage system, increasing immersion and tension during combat. Retrieval was announced during Gamescom 2023 and is developed by the independent studio 333 Studios. This is the team's first project and promises to bring a cinematic horror experience, combining elements of science fiction. The story revolves around Hana Loshe, who is the commander of a research team located about 29 billion kilometers from Earth. During the mission, she accidentally discovers a secret location that hides horrors beneath the surface. The game seems to explore themes of horror and science fiction, evoking an atmosphere similar to other titles in the genre, but with gameplay that may resemble more Fort Solis than Returnal. The story revolves around Hana Loshe, who is the commander of a research team located about 29 billion kilometers from Earth. During the mission, she accidentally discovers a secret location that hides horrors beneath the surface. The Midnight Walkers is a first-person shooter game developed by One Way Ticket Studio, a Korean team composed of industry veterans with over 15 years of experience. The game is set in a post-apocalyptic scenario where players face hordes of zombies in a closed environment, specifically in a 20-story building. This unique setting allows players to explore vertically, rather than being limited to a horizontal battlefield, bringing a new dynamic to combat. The Midnight Walkers combines elements of PvP, player versus player, and PvE, player versus environment, offering an intense and strategic experience. Players must work together to survive and complete objectives while facing both zombies and other players. With its innovative proposal and the development team's experience, The Midnight Walkers promises to be an interesting title for fans of shooter and horror games. Well, that was the video. If you liked it or not, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'll be leaving here until next time.